This gets me really excited for the new movie. Hey there, this is Matt Doodle to my Thomas Hands. Doodle here with another video. Today, I like to talk about this thing. The new look of what Ben Grimm is going to look like in the new Fantastic Four movie. Yes, I know this has been out for a while, but I didn't just want to talk about this, but I wanted to talk about how we've got to this point. You know, from like its unreleased Fantastic Four movie that came out in the 90s to the horrible Fantastic movie that came out with how his design looked. Because I think it would be a good way of showing how this version of the thing is going to be in this new movie. And that's what makes me excited. Like right now, I'm just going to say everything I like about it already. I love that they're using practical effects for this film. Like, I know this is just a, still for the CGI model, because we want the thing to be much bigger, but they're doing it in a way where the rocks feel real, if that makes sense, because they have something that's actually there to compare it to. So like, before CGI got really good, we had to use, people in suits, like the original 90s one that didn't get released. I think that's the best they did for what the budget was and for what they did, because after this, they never really got the thing's face right. Because in the 90s, they had the thing have his big brow, and it was good. Maybe the eyes were sunken in a bit much, but still. But the limitations with the technology and, the fact that the budget was so low, they couldn't really do much. And of course, it wasn't really released. So then it gets me into one that I personally really like, because that was my childhood, the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. I'm going to probably get, trashed on it, but I love this movie. It's mostly nostalgia, and I get that. But it has such a warm place in my heart, because the thing in this movie is perfect. Out of everyone, even if they're not 100% to their characters and, how the origin is, the way they think, his tragedy, everything about it, was perfect. The everyman that the thing is, Ben Grimm is here. And since they kind of needed to use CGI for Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Reed Richards, they said, you know what? Instead of making an entire CG model, because again, this was still 2005, they actually got Michael Chiklis in a rock-like suit, and it looks so cool. Of course, it still looked a little rubbery because of the time, and also how are you going to make rock look extremely realistic when you also need someone to move in it? But at that point in time, it was perfect. And even to this day, I still think it holds up extremely well. You got the expressions, the mannerism.
The thing voice comes right out of me, just like this. I'm Mickey. Oh.
Yes, because of the fact it's an actual actor, he's a little smaller compared to everyone else. Like, he's like a normal size, which is weird. Like, he is proportionally normal, if that makes sense. And he doesn't have his brow, the big brow that the thing tends to have. But I think at this point, it was the best thing to do. Also, this is a little tangent, but am I the only one who grew up with this film, thought that the reason why the thing was bald was because the actual actor was bald, and then it made me think that the character of Ben Grimm was bald? And the reason I thought that was because in the second film, we saw, all of them switch their powers. And in a little point where we saw that Ben and Johnny switched the powers, and Johnny had things abilities, but also had hair. So when I saw the comics, I'm like, Ben Grimm did have hair before he turned into a rock monster. I don't know, it's just kind of a funny tangent. But then we also had this thing from 2015, the Fantastic version of the thing. And I'm going to be very honest. I do like it. Hold on. For the fact that he actually looks like a rock monster. The only problem is that movie was horrible and trash, and he didn't have any pants. I get it. The thing is very silly on, how does he do things? But the thing is, they even make fun of it too. Like, literally in the last version, they make fun of that with this scene.
Question for you, though. How do you guys,
That's none of your business.
Okay, all right, I'm just concerned. I'd hate to wake up one morning and find out she was killed in a rock slide.
I'll show you a rock slide.
And I love it. But this just means that he doesn't feel alive. Because he's just completely naked, it just feels like he's in a suit. And this doesn't have to do anything with the model, but even when they showed him getting his powers, it just showed rocks coming on him and him getting out of rocks to become a thing, like it's a cocoon. Which sucks, because this is an entire CG model that actually looks pretty good, like if you really think about it. But the fact that he doesn't have any clothes, the fact that he, because it's a CG model, it doesn't really feel like he's real in certain cases. Again, it's still good, but it also looks off. And again, he doesn't have his brow. Also, they made his awesome line, "It's clobbering time," something that his brother would say before he beat him, which is horrible. Then he gets me to the current one. I love the new one because it goes back to the 60s root, which this movie is trying to be, like a retro-futuristic type look, and you can tell by, the costume they shown, which I didn't really have time to talk about beforehand because it was just a different costume change. I grew to like it because of how it looks more like a sweater, something that was created in the 60s, and that's actually really cool. And then we got this with the Thing wearing a full-on shirt with the Fantastic Four logo, but it's like a sweater vest, which I actually think that the Thing looks better wearing it than Johnny did. And you may be saying, why is the Thing wearing a t-shirt? He's done that before in the past. And he did use that mainly in the Ultimate Universe, having a jumpsuit type shirt. And the Thing does wear clothes. It's just that when he's in his superhero mode or, like the Fantastic Four all together, he tends to just go with the pants like a wrestler. And I think that's cool. So I don't know if they may do that for this new movie, but it'd be cool. And maybe in the movie, the group is trying to get him to wear a shirt, but, he just like, nah, I don't need it. The reason why I like this is because they're kind of using every version from the past and bring it in. They have a real Thing there to put a model off on and then put CG around it so you know where the light hits, where people are going to be looking. Because that's what they would do for, like, Rocket Raccoon. They would have someone there, and then they would have a raccoon doll so people can look at it too, just so they can get that, perspective, and for the light to hit. And with this, it's so good because you get things besides the rock. You get the texture of the sweater, so that does so much more too for the light and the CGI and the VFX artists to, map out and actually have time to do. But because of how detailed this model is, it actually makes me think that they're going to use this and CGI together to blur our minds to not know what is real, which then can, make it feel more real. Because they're not just, just having something there that they'll just replace with complete CGI. They're detailing everything from the face to the suit. So that's why I think that. And guess what? This version is huge too, like the Fantastic one, but again, he has clothes and he has his brow, which makes it 10 times better. And this little shot of him being there makes me so excited because Ben Grimm is one of my favorite characters out of the Fantastic Four. And I just feel like they need to make him right, that he is gonna, try to act normal, try to just be a person, but also being a rock monster, if that makes sense. The cool thing about the Thing is that, he's just a guy. He's not a genius, he's not like super rich or anything. He's just like a regular guy. And that's what makes him, really relatable. Because unlike someone like Bruce Banner, who can go from the Hulk back to Bruce Banner, the Thing can't do that. So he just tries to live a normal life, dress like a person, and that's all he can do. And hope Reed can find him a cure, which I hope they get their dynamic right. Because the whole reason why the Fantastic Four are even celebrities and why everyone knows them is because Reed felt horrible because he was trying to cure his friends, but he can't do anything. So this is the best thing he can do, even though he doesn't care about that stuff. It's for them. And that's what I want to see in this film. So having him actually be a big guy, while also showing him that he's actually trying to dress normally, already shows me they're putting so much care into this version of Fantastic Four. And before I end this video, I do want to say that, isn't it kind of funny, at least for me, I am more excited for this Fantastic Four movie that takes place in an alternate retro-futuristic 60s than in the main MCU. I kind of find that sad, because the last movie I got really excited was from Deadpool and Wolverine. And spoilers, that did not take place in the MCU, really. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I am more excited for this movie than I have been for the entire MCU in a very long time, because they don't have to think about the continuity of what's going on or how they're messing up with actors, they're not doing right. They already got a solid actor base. They got a whole new universe to work with. They may get destroyed, but I am still very excited for this. But that's just my thoughts on why I'm excited for this thing and how the thing can be done correctly and done so well with mixing practical and CGI together. But what do you think? Do you like this design for the thing? Do you not? Please explain why. But if there's nothing else, this has been Dudomite. I hope everyone stays nerdy, and I hope to see everyone in the next video.